Well, life on the farm is kind of laid back. Ain't much an old country boy like me can't hack. It's early to rise, early in the sack. I thank God I'm a country boy. Well, a simple kind of life never did me no harm. Raising me a family and working on the farm. Days are all filled with an easy country charm. Thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. When the work's all done and the sunset low, pull out my fiddle and I rosin up the bow. Kids are asleep, so I keep it kind of low. And thank God I'm a country boy. I'd play Sally Gooden all day if I could, but the Lord and my wife wouldn't take it very good. So I fiddle when I can, work when I should. And thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. Diamonds or jewels, I never was one of them money-hungry fools. Rather have my fiddle and my farming tools. Thank God I'm a country boy. Yeah, city folk driving in a black limousine. A lot of sad people thinking that's somebody keen. Son, let me tell you now exactly what I mean. I thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle. When the sun's coming up, I got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Thank God I'm a country boy. Yeah. Was my daddy's till the day he died, and he took me by the hand, held me close to his side, said to live a good life, play my fiddle and cry, and thank God you're a country boy. Well, my daddy taught me young how to hunt and how to whittle, taught me how to work and play a tune on a fiddle, taught me how to love and how to give just a little, and thank God I'm a country boy. Well, I got me a fine wife, I got me old fiddle, when the sun's coming up.
The Penguin. That right there, my friends, is Quake Zone Rumble. Compliments of the very talented, very clever, very stealthy Alex Plox. And then let's be clear, right before that, not as good as Alex Plox, but almost there, the great John Denver with Thank God I'm a Country Boy. Come on now, people going, what is that song? What do you think that song is? Brilliant, fucking brilliant. Listen, fellas, it's Saturday. Welcome to Saturday. Welcome to Gavin Games. Appreciate you being here. There's a lot going on in the world of gaming, especially when it comes to some free shit. It is a weekend that if you don't want to spend a lot of ducats on the games, but you want to play some stuff, there's a lot of opportunities for you. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what our very own Luca Lemon in the Discord is like, Jeffy, that's clickbait that you have to save PlayStation. They don't need any saving. Granted, Luca is like a big bodybuilder buff director from Germany or somewhere, so he doesn't really sound that way, but that's how I do it. That's how I do it. That's how I do the Germans, because, you know, the last name's Jaffe. I can do whatever I want to the Germans. Yes! Yes! Ow! Listen to me. Listen to me. Ooh, that hurts. Listen. I didn't mean to pop your eardrums, baby. Come on now. But we're going to talk about that. We really are. It's not clickbait. It's absolutely true. I played some stuff over this last week, some really interesting games. They got me thinking about what it would take for Sony to sort of be able to do what they do great, but also compete in the current market. So there you go. There you go. Ryan Bacon says PlayStation doesn't need saving. but they definitely could be heading in the wrong direction. Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, Ryan Bacon. All right, fellas. Also, really quickly, I just want to let you know there's come on and feel Jesus running through my body. There's going to be a Gabbin and game night tonight or tomorrow, or probably tomorrow day if we do it tomorrow day, because tomorrow night is the Last of Us finale as well as the Oscars. So, you know, I got to settle. Water Princess says my soul needs saving. I can help you. I can help you with that. Just give up everything everybody tells you need to do to save your soul, and you'll be halfway there. Okay. Jaffe always plays some garbage and says PS should make this trash as Saber Zero. Saber Zero, you are one of the strangest people I know. You are a troll, and you troll all the time over on my comments on this very YouTube channel, and yet you show up every single goddamn show. Are you that lonely, sir, that you can't find a group of people who actually will agree with your stupid takes? Not a problem. You're welcome here. You're welcome here. CR3D says, Oscars, who cares? People still watch that? I do. No, I hate watch it now. I mean, just like Saber Zero is watching me. I absolutely hate watch the Oscars now. But I still enjoy it for what it is. Okay. Hey, Jaffe, what's up? Says Jeff, I'm able to catch this episode live. I'm glad you're here, buddy. Jaffe is Into the Weird dead. Into the Weird, if you don't know, is the show I do about all kinds of weird topics in the world that have nothing to do with video games. It's not dead. I'm just struggling with it because as I try to build this show up and build this channel, every minute taken away from prepping a stream or, you know, doing someone's podcast to help promote the stream or this, that, or the other is a minute that could be going towards Into the Weird or I Love the Weird. But I don't know how to balance that yet. So we'll see. Shut up, Spasbo. Spasbo says Into the Weird was never live. Well, yes, it wasn't called that, but okay. Saber Zero says, I watch you because you're funny and you made Twisted Metal. For that, you have my respect, but for nothing else, Saber Zero, you old son of a bitch. Okay. I don't have hot trash takes. I'm so fucking tired of that shit. I don't want to get into it. People don't come here to hear me bitch about that stuff. But let me just say, I'm tired of. I've turned the corner. Sorry, fellas, I'm acclimating. It's been a crazy night. I turned the corner on that. I no longer really give a fuck about people saying I have bad takes because, frankly, after putting out a video last week, which was about my own personal response to playing Fortnite prop mode with some of the Gabbin and Game members, you would have thought by some of the comments I got that I was trying to say I want to cancel the game and I think this is awful and it's horrible and get rid of it. Nobody reads, nobody listens. They just want, so fuck you. Thank you so much, Kenneth. Kenneth says, I like your takes. Jake Z says Jaffe is above calling his opinions takes. I hate the whole take thing. I hate the whole take thing. All right, let's get into the news. I'm just, I'm feeling out of sorts today, fellas. I don't know what's going on with me. X Bleak Out. Yes, we are still working on the game pitch. Absolutely. We had a bit of a interesting bump in the road happen to the game last week, but I can't speak about it yet, but eventually, whether the game comes to fruition or not, I will share that with you guys because I think it's important, to, at the appropriate time, let people into the process of making games so they understand. CR3D, we're still going to do those other characters. I got to figure out, CR3D is one of the artists working with me on I Love the Weird, as well as this channel, and I got to figure out how I'm going to, balance the workload is all I'm saying. That's very nice of you to say, Merkava. I watch you because every year you deliver so much joy to so many people. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you, sir. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Ryan Bacon says, I would even have more respect for you if you did want to cancel Fortnite because it spawned a bunch of annoying trends. We'll talk about Fortnite. They just dropped a great season. A couple days ago. Hey, Coulter, thank you for joining, buddy. I appreciate that. I'm not really getting back into development. No, I mean, I'm getting back into it in the sense that I'm going to be like a consultant on a specific game that I'm going to work on designing. Joshua, this is the last one I'll read from the chat. Then we're going to get to the news. I apologize, but I like talking to the chat. I like talking to you. You know what? It doesn't matter. Listen. Joshua says, why did you make the last Gavin of Games video members only? Because I wanted to make members have something that they could enjoy that was, limited to them and exclusive to them, because they pay money for the show. That's why. Most of them will not go, but the Wednesday show usually will go behind a paywall. Hey, Santiago Pina says, first time on your channel. Love the games. I played them all. Well, on behalf of all of us who made them, appreciate that, buddy. Thank you so much. The last game I did significant develop on, Arthur Banks, was Drawn to Death. Let's get into the news. Let me tell you something that happened this week, and I'm not going to play it for you with audio because I'll get this stream taken down in a heartbeat. But I'll tell you what, up until this trailer dropped, I had no real interest in going. This is going to be the first movie I go back to the theater to see since the pandemic. The last movie I saw in theaters was Little Women with Florence Pugh, stinky lady. And that was like, 2019, and I haven't been back since. This trailer drops, and the first couple trailers have been like, whatever, it's fine. I'll watch it maybe eventually. This trailer is the shit. You know what trailer I'm talking about? Motherfucker, man. Motherfucker. The goddamn cockadoodie Mario trailer that just dropped this week is really good. Like, even if it wasn't Mario, because that was the thing. All the other trailers were kind of like, if you love Mario, sure, it's Mario. But, other than that, it was whatever. But this was the first trailer that actually was like, oh, this is funny. This is pretty fucking good. I want to watch this as a movie. And so this is coming out pretty soon, April 5th. I'll be there the first weekend. I might even go the night before if they sell tickets for it. Very, very excited to see it after this. And did you guys see this trailer yet? They got the Mario. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. They got it right from the game. And then they got the Mario Kart racing in here. That just looks like a fucking delightful action sequences. Bill Bone says it looks like it could just be fluff though, but definitely doesn't look bad. It's the first trailer I've seen that even if it wasn't Mario, I'd go, what the fuck is this? That's pretty cool. So there's Rainbow Road. Look at him hopping from car to car. Look at him ripping off Twisted Metal. I think it's great. It does look like it's all around fun and taps into the game, says Venom. I agree. Saber Zero, I'm in good company then. Saber Zero can't stand me, and he says I can't stand Mario or Nintendo. Yes, Bacon, of course. I will be seeing Indiana Jones in the theater as well. Yeah, exactly, Brett. Sonic did gangbusters, and Mario is much larger IP. We got our good friend Da Vinci. Here's what he's saying. I just want to read this real quick before we move on to the next piece of news, which is talking about Resident Evil 4. Da Vinci says, the chat is tough now. You want to limit everyone the way Rich does. He sets it so subs or members can chat every so many seconds. People who don't sub can't. I don't know. Why would I? That sounds annoying. Look, if you pay, you should be able to chat all you want, right? Are you talking about Rich like Tech Review Tech USA Rich? Bacon, you're going to go, I'm not Bacon, Bukaki, you're going to go watch Mario? Oh, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's talk about this game. The demo, as everybody knows, dropped this week. This is interesting to me because, of course, I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 4. Granted, I've never finished it. I got to the castle, which, depending on who you ask, that's somewhere towards the last third of the game. I've played it on VR. I've played it on Steam. I've played the HD version, but, I don't finish a lot of games. So I really loved it. I did finish, though, RE2 Remake, RE3 Remake. I finished Village. I finished whatever the one was with the Hillbilly family. Was that 7? Loved them. So I was looking forward to this. It didn't really disappoint. But what I will tell you about this. Is it really? I don't remember the opening of Resident Evil Village in the sense that what the win condition was. But when I was playing it on stream the other night, I couldn't get past it. I had no fucking, I was just like, oh, again. I kept thinking I have to stealth my way through it or whatever. And then I realized that, oh, it's a timer, right? So I don't know if the final actual, like the original game was that way, or this was just something they put in the demo. I don't remember it being a timer. So I was just going around going, I guess I got to kill all these guys, and they are legion. And then I got the chainsaw motherfucker coming after me. So I guess I just got to play real fucking careful. But it turned out I did just survive long enough, and then suddenly the church bells ring and everybody go inside, and I'm like, oh, I guess that's the end of the demo. So I don't really know what the win condition was. I can tell you I've seen a lot of people say that it was really hard, and I didn't see anybody saying that about the other Resident Evil remakes. I don't think it was really hard, but I've never thought of Resident Evil 4 as a particularly hard game, but I definitely think this demo, without letting the player know what they're trying to accomplish, I could see a lot of people being turned off by it. I think it's going to get great reviews. I think it's going to be a big hit. I'm looking forward to it. But I definitely think it was a weird opening. Forget me for a second, because I loved it so much that I went back in and played it until I solved it. And then I went back in and played it again. I know Spaz says he's played it on PC. It's even better on PC. He says he's played it 6 times. I'm on my 3rd playthrough. I like it that much. But that opening was really confusing to me. And I wonder if other people are going to be a little confused by it. You guys in the chat are saying the opening's timed like the opening in Village. Well, I'm trying to remember the opening in Village. I know that there was a demo for Village that was timed like you only have an hour, but this game you have as much time as you want. But the win condition was, I guess, once Chainsaw Dude shows up, you got to survive long enough. Is that how the actual game is? A cab says, is it time? Don't you have to get the shotgun house first? No. I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the conditions are to win the game or to win the demo or to cause the church bells to ring. All I know is I got the shotgun plenty of times, but it didn't end the demo. You're saying the original was exactly like that. Okay, I wonder how that just came up. Maybe it was tuned easier. I don't know. But it was fun and I enjoyed it, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So I've been playing that, loving that. Great fucking game. I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy it. I may download the demo on PC because my PC is not great, but Spaz has been saying, dude, it's so much better with the control with the mouse that I got to give that a shot. Listen to this. Normal people like you and me. Oh, if you drop all your items before reaching the village, the well is open. Ooh, Eddie T, I didn't know that. What's down there? Bukaki says, I find the aiming annoying with the controller, so I'll get it on PC. I guess you could aim on your PS5 or 4 with the mouse as well. But I want to try it. The gun's down there, submachine gun. Oh shit. Okay, I'm doing that again. Anyway, so us normal people got to wait. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for March 24th. But guess what? There's a leaker who's a pretty dependable guy, calls himself Dusk Golem. What a moron. I don't know if that's true, if he's a moron, but it's his name. He says, hey, I want to let you know something. Be wary, fellas. Resident Evil 4 Remake is 100% out in the wild. I've seen clips from people notifying me about it in a few places, meaning you can go get it right now. I don't know if he means someone has broken street date, like a retailer, or if he means that it's been pirated and people are downloading it. Probably a little bit of both. Certainly the latter, maybe the former. He says, I won't share the locations, but if you want to avoid spoilers, now's the time to start treading carefully. I'm sure Capcom will start scrubbing stuff. My suggestion going forward is to be careful on social media and video sharing sites. Same with auto recommendations on Twitter, TikTok, etc. Yeah, sure. It's Resident Evil 4, though. It's like remaking Empire Strikes Back. It's like, you know what's going to happen. Yeah, AJ says, do people genuinely care about spoilers for such an old game? I mean, some people do, especially since it's kind of let's put it this way. Like I said, I have played the RE4. I've probably replayed Resident Evil 4 more times than any other game except games I've worked on. Like, I rarely go back and play games. But even for me, when I was playing the demo, the opening is different because I was asking guys who were more knowledgeable than I was. And when you go into RE4 demo, there's a new shack and all this shit with this dude in there. That's not in the original RE4 or the remakes of RE4. At least that's what people confirmed to me on my streaming of it. So I'm actually looking forward to how they tweak it and tune it and all sorts of things like that. Because that's part of the fun, I think, of these remakes that Capcom is doing. So I definitely understand that if you're really sensitive, you're like, yeah, I don't want to fuck around with that shit. Hey, look at that, Scooser Boots. I dreamed a dream of Scooser Boots. He was looking at my twig and berries. I said, Scooser, I'm not into that, yo, so-and-so. Scooser Boots, thank you for joining the Diet Soda Soldiers. I appreciate it, buddy. Everybody give Scooser Boots a pickle tickle and an emote of your choice. I would appreciate it. Thank you for your support, sir. Nice to have you here. Scooser says that's somebody from Liverpool, says Mitch Doe, I guess. Okay. Water Princess says I'm going to wait for a price drop. Well, listen. Look at this next thing. Hey, Damian Paez subbed. I need to hang on a second. I got to get this Streamlabs up because I've been missing people that are subbing, and I don't mean to do that, but I got to touch the ADD, folks, and sometimes it just wreaks havoc on my brain pan, but I'm going to fix that right here, right now, and I'm going to make this, your old Papa Javi's going to take care of it on this fine Saturday, March Saturday, as we head into the spring and into the summer movie season. Here we go. Let me sign in. We're going to go here to the dashboard. Who signed up today? All right, I'll tell you who signed up today, yo, so-and-so's. Analytics? Where did they put that? Oh, Jaffe has gotten hyper today. There's another advantage on PC, says Bukaki. It's usually cheaper on launch if you go to cdkeys.com in terms of getting Resident Evil 4 Remake. I could see that. No. I don't want to download shit. Fuck you. If you're listening to the show, I appreciate you listening to the podcast. You must know that there is a podcast version of this show right here, right now, that you can find on the link tree down below. So if you want to hear it, because you can't really listen to it on the YouTube when it's sometimes private, it's a pain in the ass. Point is, I don't even know where I don't even see these. Maybe they'll pop up later. Whatever. The point is, if you subscribed and I missed you, thanks. I appreciate it. Okay. Fuck you, Ryan Bacon. Hey, Salvador, thank you for being a member for 14 months. He says, hey, Jaffe, do you see the Sony explanation document to the CDC for not wanting the merger to happen? Also, spoiler for Jaffe's career. This sad stream. Oh, you're trying to be funny. It's nice. It's nice that you try things and reach even when you clearly have no ability or talent, Salvador. I did see that, and we will talk about in that just a second regarding what Jim Ryan said. Yes. Okay. Look what's up on your screen right now. The word free. I put this up because I wanted to remind you guys we got a big weekend of free games, especially if you game on PC, but not entirely. And this is what I love about the PC, and this is what I love about games in general, more and more and more. And again, you have to understand, I'm 51 fucking years old. Oh yeah, you see free. Yeah, I'm covering it up. Whenever I look at the off screen and laugh, 90% of the time it's because I've read something by Bukaki, but I don't want to interrupt the show to say what it is. So, but free, a lot of free shit to play this weekend. I'm 51 years old. When I was 51, when I was a kid or a teenager or a young adult, there was no sense of free video games. Everything was like, go buy it at the goddamn store. And now I'm like, my God, you can wake up on a Saturday and you're like, shit, I got my gaming plans all worked out all goddamn weekend. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. Listen to this. Here's what's going on. First off, Fortnite. Fortnite is free on pretty much every platform in the universe. What's new? They just now. I was never a big Fortnite guy, and I've only come to Fortnite in the last couple weeks when I discovered the no build mode. I don't like building. I don't want to craft a bunch of bullshit. They have modes that are not just tons of creative modes that the users have made, which are awesome, but they have modes that are just straight up battle royale, deathmatch, team deathmatch, what have you, and that is awesome. Well, they dropped their anime manga chapter 4 season 2 called Mega yesterday, and I've been playing it a lot. It's really good. You get cool new motorcycles, you get cars that drift, you get this cool fucking katana, which is awesome. I love killing people with that. A lot of new weapons, but obviously the star of it are the new levels. You get a bunch of you also have grinding. They have these grind rails all over the new mega city, and you can grind on those, reverse direction, jump from one to the other. You can still have combat while you're on it. They also have a bunch of sections of the map that are still Eastern flavored, like Japanese, but they don't have all the manga, or not manga, but sort of anime and Neo Tokyo vibe. So it's a really robust addition to the map. And if you go into, and then you get all of the new skins and characters and stuff. And they have the Attack on Titan characters, at least a couple of them as well. If you go into the main mega city map, though, and I won't show it to you right now, but it's fucking awesome. It's absolutely fucking awesome. So I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's good. Rob the Mod says, was the first person shooter, or the first person perspective leak not real? That was a rumor, but I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. But if you're curious about it, give it a play, give it a look. It's free. Let me tell you something else, by the way. This is how much I consider myself a fan of not just this game, but look, man, I love my PS5. I played it a bunch last night. That's where I'm getting RE4 Remake on. But I've really enjoyed the Xbox, and now my son is playing. He got an Apple Mac laptop, so his PC's dead. He can't play Fortnite anymore. It's a big pain in the ass, but he used to like Fortnite. I showed him this. He started playing it, so I'm like, fuck it, let me get another Xbox. I literally, sometime during this stream, I may have to pause and go find Amazon wherever they are, because I finally picked up an Xbox S. So I have an S and an X in the house now, primarily so I can have one on the second TV. That's how much I'm a fan of Game Pass and subscription-based gaming. But I get it. It's not for everybody, but I just wanted to share that. I'm looking forward to it. And if we do gaming tonight or tomorrow, we're going to do one or the other. We will be doing a little Fortnite for sure. How do you find the Series S? I got it on Amazon. Okay, here's other things. Here's the game I'm playing exclusively on PlayStation, and they have free content this week. Wild Hearts, I love. I got tied into Atomic Hearts. I want to go back to Wild Hearts. It's fucking great. But the their Monster Hunter Rift, Wild Hearts, is really fun. They have a new monster coming this week. They have new weapons coming this week. In 2 weeks, they are launching a new quest, new armor and models. And then the week after that, in April, they have a bunch of new monsters coming and also new weapons coming. So again, I got to say, I understand that a lot of people, and I get it, all these free things are to keep you in the ecosystem. But when the game's as good as Wild Hearts or the game's as good as Fortnite, I don't mind. Check this one out. Dredge is a demo. I talked about this in the last stream, but I've been playing it a lot more. I want to get this on PC because frankly, the Switch is too small for my eyes, and there's a lot of little tiny text in the game. But this game is great. If you have a Switch, you like to play on the Switch, get the demo for this. It is a Lovecraftian fishing horror sim thing, and it's a absolute great deal of fun, and it's very clever and very cool. This is coming out on the 30th. The demo is available now. Call of the Sea is available on Epic Games store this week for free. This game, if you don't know, it's a couple years old, but it's great. It's like a cross between Myst and Indiana Jones. It is about a woman who goes into this remote island and all kinds of shit starts going south, this is free. It's a fucking quality, high-end game. If you like this genre, and you don't got to pay a goddamn penny, you just got to go over and give some of the Chinese your information over on the Epic Game Store. It's good though. Highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And then the last thing I'll tell you that's free, again, I don't mean to go on about this. When I woke up today and I was putting the stream together, I was just seeing one after the other, after the other, after the other of just like shit. Why pay for anything? Why fucking pay for anything? Look at this. Warhammer Vermintide 2, which I've played with the stream before. I enjoy it. It's good stuff. It's good people. It's a co-op dungeon crawler in the world of Warhammer. They just put out, as you know, the same developer put out, they call it Troubled. I know Rob the Mod and Spaz played some Dark Tide. They really liked it. I know it's on PC Game Pass right now. I haven't played it yet, but it's coming on console eventually. But they made this first. The player count is still very high on Vermintide 2. This is 80% off if you want to buy it. Not 80% off, but it's a large percent off. They gave it an 80 is what they said. It is. It's 80% off if you want to purchase it. And it is right now a free weekend if you want to play. So again, a lot of good stuff. Rob the Mod says, I love this game. A lot of good fucking stuff out there. Luigi says, hey, Sony listed all the times Microsoft lied on their promises. Thank you for the super chat, Luigi. I appreciate that. Okay. Would you like to send me a link or tell me what to Google? I would be, I'd love to go through those on the show and see what people are talking about, what Sony, I mean, they all lie, but unless they're lying to a regulatory body where they're under oath, I don't really think it matters. Are you surprised that video game companies and companies in general lie? But I'd love to see that. Absolutely. Game Pass does have fighting games. They don't have a lot. They have Killer Instinct, and I think they have like 3 or 4. Gaming Nading says, I'd love to see Jaffe cover the list. I'm happy to. Send it to me. I'll look at it. Bacon says, Jaffe, you have stated over these years that your kids in their generation don't console game, but you got your child an Xbox. Have you been misconceiving your kids' generation, or are they now crossing over? No, they play most of my friends, most of my kids' friends play, and my kids on tablet and computers. But now that my son is getting into video editing, I wanted him to have a better platform to edit. So we got him a Macintosh or a MacBook or whatever the fuck it is so he could edit. And as you know, Epic and Apple had the big brouhaha, and you can still sort of kind of play Fortnite on an Apple product, but there's hoops, and I don't want to install Boot Camp and all that. So that's the only reason. Plus, I wanted to have, I wanted to be able to play some of my games on the big TV, which I'm only playing my games in here because I stream them on a monitor. So, but no, they're not. Trust me, when I told my kid today, hey, an Xbox is coming today, he was like, okay. It's probably more for me, but I do like the idea that we can play games together on it now. Okay. Mitch Doe says, Lungy Lie. Thank you for the super chat all the way over from Mario, London, or wherever you are, with that crazy, it's crazy. It's the pound sign, Jaffe, you moron. The point is, I appreciate it, Mitch. Mitch says, Lungy lied. The guy who just paid to say, no, that's Luigi. I don't know who the fuck Lungy is, baby. Okay. And I don't know if you're talking to me, Freeman. Freeman says, don't forget Cynthia Ando. You admitted to me you're using a fake name and you're a male. So maybe you're talking to somebody else. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Okay. Did I get everybody's questions? Let's move on. Your son is more of a PC player. No, my son's not much of a gamer at all. He likes the games that he can play with his friends. He's a social gamer. But it's not like he's like, dude, can't wait to play RE4. Neither of my children love sci-fi movies that are kind of geeky movies. They don't like to read. They don't like video games. They're just not, they're just not that, By the way, speaking of final things you can play for free this weekend, this is terrible. Now, I don't know if Morgan's here today. Morgan is sort of my resident go-to expert when it comes to a lot of the Eastern games that come over to America. I was excited for the Bayonetta spinoff, which was kind of more of a chibi, cutie little version of Bayonetta. I kind of thought it was going to be a fun action game, something like Brave Fencer Muchachi or Mushalzi, whatever the fuck it was called from Square on PS1, because it kind of looks like that, you know? But my God, this fucking demo is the most boring piece of shit. I mean, this is insane. I think this comes from Platinum too. Is this a Platinum game? You can play this right now over on, yeah, it's Platinum Games. You can play this right now on Switch. Tell me what you think. But I played this and I was like, are you shitting me? This is junk. It's slow and she's, you know, maybe it gets amazing, but she's just kind of walking around and solving really slow puzzles. And I had no interest. That may be my Xbox. Hang on a second. That's the Xbox. Shall I unbox it for you? Yeah, Eddie says I'm going to play it, but it looks very calm. I want more of a hack and slash Bayonetta. It may change. I just made Brave Fencer Mexican. That's right. It may change. I don't know. And it may become awesome. But the demo, oh my God, it just drags and drags and drags. And you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's terrible for me. Maybe you guys will love it. But anyway, that's the last free thing I want to talk to you about. I don't mind that it's unconventional, Billy Bones. I just mind that it's boring. Hey, Combat Carl, he says, you know what? I love Combat Carl. Ace loves my music. Combat Carl, thank you, buddy. I sure do appreciate your re-up and your membership. Thanks for the support, buddy. Hey, Saltiest Gamer, there he is. Strider says, what's your general opinion on Activision as a company? Not regarding the acquisition, your thoughts on the publisher, studios, and its products. That's a good question. Okay, well, I think Bobby Kotick, and I've been saying Bobby Kotick's the fucking devil well before Greg Miller got there, okay? So back the fuck off, Team Fat. But what I will tell you is I think he's a nightmare, but I'm a fan of a lot of the products that they make, right? I very much like... I loved this year's Call of Duty, both single and multiplayer. I'm a huge fan of Hearthstone, although all my love has now gone over to Marvel Snap. Looking forward to Diablo. The last Crash they put out was excellent. I think they are a great video game developer publisher. I think their morality settings are off the charts bad. It seems like it's trying to get better. And I hope it does. And that's not the main reason, but it's certainly one of the big reasons I'd like to see this acquisition go through, because Bobby Kotick won't be there anymore. I don't think Microsoft can afford to have a company that it owns that is basically having dudes literally crawling around and under women's cubicles, touching their legs every Friday and sending around pictures of women's vaginas at holiday parties that then go on tragically to end their own lives. So I think they make some really good stuff, and I want to see that continue. I'm a fan of Mike Ybarra, who is now running Blizzard. I do not like what he said, although he was probably towing the company line, but it doesn't matter, when he basically said to people in a roundabout sort of way, you don't have, basically you have to come back to work or you're fired. If you work from home, no matter how, they'll make exceptions, but this whole, you must be back in the office, I don't like the way that was handled very much. But, short of that, though, I'm a big fan of Mike Ybarra. So I have faith that it's going to get better, and I do love their products. Absolutely. Listen to this, fellas. Listen to this. Microsoft said Bobby will stay after the deal. Jay don't care says that is absolutely not what I've heard. I have heard that I have heard like on financial shows like CNBC and stuff that Kotick, if the deal goes through, is out. And he knows that. It's not like a secret, but maybe something has changed. Mike Ybarra, Akab, yeah, he runs Blizzard. He's the head of Blizzard. Him and a woman were hired, and she left. And at first, she's like, "Oh, I have other things I need to do." And then it turned out she wasn't getting paid as much as Mike, and she's like, "I'm out of here. Fuck this shit." As she should have. As she should have. Do you know that I love you? I clearly love you. Here's how you can know if you're ever wondering, like, does Papa Chaffee really love me? Here's how you know, because I fucking hate crowds. I fucking hate travel. But I think I'm going to go to E3 this year because I think it would be good for the show. I think I could bring back some data, some information, some conversations, some videos that would absolutely improve your experience coming to this very show. So E3 has now started selling, giving out, signing up people who are in the business. I do think I qualify. Worst case, I qualify for the creator content. But since I'm still doing video game development with movie games, I probably will be able to go as well. So under that. So I'm almost certain I'll be there, short of something going tits up. Here you go. Well, yeah, I don't think Saber Zero says E3 is dead. Just stay home. Yeah, it may be. Trust me, man. I'm not excited like I used to be excited for E3, but I'm more curious. It's Reed Pop who runs PAX. They have a new way of doing it. If you get the pass, you have the business areas, which is, I probably won't have anything to do there. I'm sure they'll have some games on display, but I don't plan on taking any meetings or anything. But then they have the consumer areas, which is where whoever is going. And Microsoft came out today and said, we're definitely not going to be there. We'll be across the street on June 11th doing our show, but we're not going to actually be at the show. But people who are going to be here, they'll have their games to play. So I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Although I hate the crowds, I probably will take the train down. It doesn't matter. You don't care. I'm saying if I could snap my fingers and be there, I would. Jeeves says there'll be plenty of third-party publishers. Even if I go and there's no reason to go in terms of great games or big reveals, it'll be good to go and make fun of it. Plus, I'll be in LA, which I love. But anyway, I wanted to give you a heads up, let you know that. Okay, now you have to have known this happened earlier in the week, but I haven't talked to you guys about it. I don't know what you think about it. Bill Bone says, how far do you have to travel? It's just 2 hours. I could literally hop on the 5 freeway and be there in, 120 minutes, 110 minutes, depending on how fast I drive and when I leave. But I don't know. I just don't like driving. Why would I? No, I will not need security. A cab says, I think they will show some good stuff still. Maybe. I mean, I'm more looking forward at the moment for June 11th, because I want to see the deep dive into what's that goddamn thing? Starfield. Okay, Capcom had their show. They had a showcase the other day. I give it a solid B. ABC did it. I give it a solid B. Hey, that's interesting. Rogue says you can have a Gabbin and Games street team with your members at E3. Good marketing and fun. Maybe I should do a live show from the corner of like Figueroa and whatever. That would be great. Maybe I will. Interesting. I give it a solid B. The only reason I give it a solid B is the lack of surprises, because I was hoping to be like, oh shit. That's fucking awesome. They dropped, what was the game a lot of people were hoping? People were saying, like, Rob the Mod, I know in the chat was like, or somebody was asking Rob the Mod about Dragon's Dogma 2. There was another big, a new DMC, Onimusha, just something. And it really wasn't, there were no surprises at all. We even knew that a demo was coming out, right? So I'd say what they showed, though, everything looked great. Yeah, Pragmata people were looking forward to. When do you think Sony, Mitch says, are having their showcase? They haven't announced it. They haven't said they're going to. They may not. Combat says I should stream it. If I go to E3, there'll be a lot of streaming. There'll be a lot of goddamn streaming, 100%. Okay. Oh, Embracer, a cab will be there, sure. Dino Crisis needs to come back, says Eddie T from Capcom. He says Exo Primal, which I'm excited about, is offensively bad. Throw it in the trash. Now, Eddie, did you get into the beta? Because I know a couple of members on this stream and at Gabbin and Games have played the closed beta a couple of months back, and they were saying it's pretty cool, but I don't know if you played it and you thought the opposite. But anyway, here's what I'll say with it I did like about it. Just I'll touch on some things briefly. The first thing is, it's great to see unlike Ubisoft, unlike probably Embracer, certainly unlike Warner Brothers, it's great to see that there is still a company that makes narrative-based games, that when they make those narrative-based games, they don't seem to get into the microtransactions and service-based game. Like Resident Evil 4 is Resident Evil 4. RE3, RE2 Remake, 7 Village, all of those. Yeah, there's some DLC, but they leave you alone. It's about the adventure. And I love that, because you don't see that anymore unless you're talking first party for the most part at the scale that they work in terms of budgets. So very happy about that. You know, and the sales are always really great. So they must be good enough that they're able to sustain that and keep doing that. As for, you know, Exoprimal, yes, it's a service game. It's not free though. It is free if you have Game Pass free. Which is great, but it has a battle pass and all that. But you know, if it's a good game, it's a good game. Eddie T says it's another live service game that will shut down in 6 months. It might. We're going to talk about that in a little bit because I have a solve for that, but it might. But what I will tell you is the idea of a rolling, my understanding is what the game is a rolling mission mode, kind of like they first introduced, I think, in, was it Killzone 2 multiplayer, where you're playing with your friends or your team, and then if your squad wins, you move into another battle, but it's a totally different, maybe it becomes PvE, maybe it becomes PvP, maybe it's PvEVP, where it's like you're all competing to kill the most dinosaurs, and the ones who do can extract the ones who don't die. There's something about it that I think is really interesting, and I like dinosaurs. There was a guy at the end, did you guys watch this, where it was like, and there's a secret character who's coming, and it's like the guy comes in and sits down, or the girl, and then it cuts right before you can tell who it is. I don't know if there was any speculation. I went back and kind of watched the last couple frames. There was nothing. I was like, maybe something's on the monitor. If anybody knows who that's supposed to be, I would love to know that. Somebody was saying, oh, it's Solid Snake, it's Raiden. Really? I didn't get that. Let me tell you something else. Here's one of my favorite parts about, it was Rob the Mod, there you go. Here's one of my favorite parts about this show, is the characters. What? Yes, the characters. Listen, what? This is the craziest fucking show. I'm not going to play y'all this. This is the guy who's in charge of Megaman Battle Network, which I'm interested in only because people in the chat, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's stupid. They're like, dude, no, those are really good games. So I'm interested to give, I wish there was a demo. It's crazy they didn't put a demo out for some of these games like this and Ghost Trick. But check this shit. Listen to this.
Seem to be getting a message from director Masakazu Iguchi, aka Mr. Famous.
Battle routine, set, execute.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? And then look how he vanishes from our lives right here. Look at this shit.
Starting March 21st, the English version of Mega Man NT Warrior will be available.
Watch, he's about to leave
free.
us. He's about to leave us.
Check the official website for more information.
No, he has to say goodbye. Wait, here he is. He says goodbye to us right here. It made me sad.
And don't worry, Buster Max mode is automatically turned off for online net battling. That's all I have for you today. I've been Mr. Famous.
Okay, now if you think that guy's good, wait till you see this guy they trotted out. Nope. Sorry, wrong picture, but I would be forgiven for getting it wrong. It's not Dana Carvey as the turtle character in Master of Disguise. It's the director of Ghost Trick. Look at this guy. I'm not, look, and by the way, I'm not look shaming. I'm just saying it's crazy. It's crazy, these knuckleheads. Look at this guy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shu Takumi.
Dude, that guy is the Japanese version of Master of Disguise. Look at that. Look at that. He's like a little Japanese Phil Collins. That's what I think he is. But listen, the other thing I think that's funny is all of the English voices they give to these guys are always so soft and high, right? Listen to the translator. Listen to this guy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shu Takumi.
I don't want to alert you, so I'll speak in a very soft, gentle voice. And Mr. Famous or Mr. Wonderful, where the fuck his name's the same goddamn thing. But I'm looking forward to Ghost Trick. I've never played it. Eddie T in the chat says it's really fucking good. It looks really cool, but both Ghost Trick and the Battle Legacy Megaman, whatever the fuck it is, I was very surprised neither of those games had demos out. You would have thought. Mutant Mo's been a member for 23 cockadoodie months. He's about to get his really cool God of War sticker up there. Thank you for that support, buddy. You know all the support you give us is amazing. I love it. He says, heck yes, catching this replay on my commute. Good for you, sir. If you're driving and you're hearing this, drive safe, Mutant Mo. We sure do appreciate you being part of our community and doing what you do and bringing a sex-positive mentality to the sex industry as well. I'm tired of people shaming the people who work in the sex industry. Fuck. I think a lot of people are just jealous. I couldn't work in the sex industry. I probably could because that guy, what's that guy's name? Ron Jeremy could get a job as a porn star. I probably could. No, not these days. I don't know. Let's stay talking about games. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. Come on back now. Come on back. Give me a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper. I'm in a goddamn hurry. If you know where that's from, you're as old as I am. Okay. Mega Man Battle Network Collection, like I said, there's no demo. Big missed opportunity. I'm well endowed too. Fuck you, Zandatsu. Zandatsu says Ron was well endowed though. Bitch, you know what the number one thing is women say when they see my penis? A is how much? And then after that, they say, my God, that's surprisingly big. Jamie, you got it. You got it. He's Smoking the Bandit. You goddamn right. Yeah, but Ron Jeremy was a creep. I would never be a creep. Okay. Street Fighter 6 we know is coming out. Was it June? Excited. I'm excited, even though I suck at it. I want to learn to play it. They said, hey, Capcom Cup this year is going to have Street Fighter 6. And the winner, there's a $2 million cash pool. The number one winner gets $1 million. So if you're good at it, practice up. That's a lot of ducats. They also focused a lot on the Capcom showcase on commentators. And I was like, is this the first time this game has ever had, like any fighting game has ever had AI-based commentators? Because I never saw that before. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, they're not live. It's like, you know, when you play Madden and you've got the guys talking to you like, oh, he threw a football or whatever. I don't. Good, Jaffe. That's how alpha I am when it comes to sports. My commentating riff or me impersonating a commentator in football is going, hey, he threw the football. Like, can you imagine? I think, yeah, we don't need you in this job. But this is the first time they've done it in a game. So I'm curious about that. It sounds kind of cool. Instant Messenger says the Street Fighter 6 demo was hard to master. I think one of the reasons I'm excited about it is I've read things where they say it's not that there's a baby mode, although I'm sure there is an easy mode, but there is they're doing a lot of work to bring people into the moment-to-moment Street Fighter game and make it, a warmer, more nurturing introduction so more people can really get into it. So I'm hoping that helps me out, people like me with my brain condition, which is silly. Bone Slave is subscribed. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that very, very much. Garden State Boss is subscribed. I appreciate that very, very much. You guys are keeping the channel alive, and that means a lot to me. Thank you, fellas. Okay. Capcom 40th anniversary, they announced. I was excited at first because I'm like, I love shit like this. They're like, hey, we're going to do a fucking, virtual isometric town, and there's going to be a museum, and what else is there going to be to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Capcom? And they didn't really go into details of it, but I'm very excited because I love little stupid shit like this. Like, I love virtual worlds, especially virtual worlds that are built around things I like, and Capcom is one of my favorite video game companies. So right now, if you go to the website, all you see is this. But on the 12th of June, I guess they will unveil at least part of it, which is the 40th museum, 40-year anniversary museum. Armin says, is it Unreal 5? Do you mean Street Fighter, or do you mean the goddamn Capcom town? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it. Okay. Exoprimal we talked about. It is coming to Game Pass. I'm excited about that. It does have a battle pass. I don't really care either way. I just bought the Fortnite battle pass for season 2, chapter 4 today, or whatever season they're on, 20. I don't fucking know. But I don't mind that. But here's the important part. There's a beta test coming up on the 17th. That's next weekend. And you goddamn right, it's an open beta. I will be playing it, and I highly recommend you do as well, unless the word on the street is it's crap. But I want to give it a try. Ghost Trick they showed, they seem to really be obsessed with having a new soundtrack, whatever. It looks interesting. Eddie T says it's good. I've never played the original. Looking forward to that. If you don't know what it is, it's like you have two zones. You have like the spirit world and the real world, and you go to the spirit world and you possess objects, and then you go back to the real world and you can use those objects like to roll a wheel or to flip a bike or do whatever to cause things to happen in the real world in order to solve crimes and stop crimes and things like that. I don't know how free it is. Is it like Scribblenauts where it's like you can solve a puzzle 100 different ways? Or is it more like, no, there's like 200 puzzles like Professor Layton, and every single puzzle is solved one way or two ways, and that's it. But I am curious. I wish there would be a demo though, because I want to give it a shot. Okay, Monster Hunter Rise, whatever. If you're into it, like I said, my heart right now belongs to Wild Hearts. I've only barely touched the Monster Hunter world, but people who are into it are legion, and they love it, and they are getting new monsters, locations, mechanics, story, massive expansion called Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, I think is what they're calling it, and that will be coming up soon. That will be coming up, the expansion April 28th. Although there was Monster Hunter Rise DLC for free that happened yesterday. Okay, finally, Resident Evil 4, we talked about it, we know about it, nothing else to say. The Death Island movie continues to look good. It's a Netflix animated movie. I've never seen in my entire goddamn life underwater zombies before. That's I don't know if other movies or games have done that, but I first time I've seen them is in the trailer for Death Island, which I think is set on Alcatraz, right? And it's a movie coming this summer to Netflix. They showed another trailer of that. Looking forward to that. And then the final thing they talked about was, hey, there's a Capcom publishing sale going on all over the place. And I've been over there. There's some really good deals. I own most Capcom stuff, but there are some really inexpensive, like Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 are literally sub $2 that you can get, at least on the Steam store. And I want to get those because the more I get into Resident Evil, I haven't played them all. I want to get all the story down, but, underwater zombies, says Ryan Bacon, when they just float. No, they're like mermaid zombies. They swim around and fucking kill people. It's awesome. 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 Okay, let's move on. Listen to this. How would they drown? Drown? I don't know. Oh, Zombie 2 had a zombie fighting a shark. Okay, yeah, never played that, Blackout. Let me center. I have to center. If you're listening, not watching, I'm doing a little bit of meditation. It'll take like 5-10 seconds tops. We will continue with the news. There's a lot more to cover. Thank you for being patient with your Papa Jaffe, but being present, even though time is only a construct, time is not real according to a very large number of physicists, quantum physicists. It is a circle. It is a loop. We perceive it linearly. It's kind of like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's fascinating. It's kind of like when you hear like Flat Town, and it's like, what would life be like if you were flat and you weren't aware of the third dimension, right? That's sort of a thought experiment in physics, basic sort of 101 physics. Probably the same thing with time. There are probably creatures that don't perceive time like we do, and they look at us and go, can you believe those poor son of bitches see time in one direction? The point is, I need to settle for 10 seconds. Listen to this. Listen to this. Of course, time is linear. No, it's not. CR3D. It's not a political debate. There are some scientists who still think it is, but more and more are going, no, it's not. It is not linear. And then they talk about why they feel mathematically they can prove that it's not linear, but it's not a done deal. It's not a locked in fact. I mean, nothing in science is, but let's move the fuck on. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. Now, come on now. It's terrible. Bukaki, what are you doing? Don't do that. People don't like that shit. Listen. Hey, Jojo D's here. Hey, buddy. Okay. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League's been delayed again, still planned for 2023. We understand. We know. I'm fascinated by this for a couple of reasons. I mean, obviously, and I think they even went on record, or I read a tweet somewhere from someone at Warner Brothers or Rocksteady that clearly they were not happy with the response to their trailer that dropped, the Sony PlayStation Showcase a couple of weeks back, where they showed like 20 minutes of the game. And so a lot of people are assuming, probably rightly so, that they're like, okay, this needs more time in the oven. Now, what I find fascinating about this is if, and again, these are big ifs, but my guess would be if they were going to push this title already, then they would have known that before they put the Sony Showcase out. The only reason I can imagine, anything could happen, but it seems logical to assume that the reason it's been delayed is because the showcase showed so poorly, right? And so, look, what a lot of people didn't like, this is reading directly from Polygon's article, but it's very succinct and it gets to the point. It says, succinct is, Jeffy. It says the co-op gameplay smacked of Destiny 2 and Anthem inserted into the Batman world, but it was the live service trappings that appeared to deflate the Rocksteady fans who blanched at the game's cosmetic pack, battle pass, gear score menus, and shoot and loot mechanics. So, look, I don't think this game is not that. You can't just delay it for a month or 6 months or a year and suddenly it's not that anymore. So I think one of two things is happening with this. I think either, or maybe both, but the first one is if you look at the trailer and you remove your rightly so distaste for these sorts of very uninspired, soulless, designed by corporate committee games as a service titles, and you just look at the moment-to-moment gameplay, I think the moment-to-moment gameplay looks like a great deal of fun. It was, you know, the moves are cool, the action is cool, you can change characters at any time. You don't have to play with friends, but you can. It could be good. It could be good, but certainly people would be forgiven for assuming that because of all the other shit that came with it, it's going to be a soulless piece of shit. Okay, so what they could be doing is saying, the one thing we can compete on because we were forced to deal with this shitty business model, that was the hand Warner Brothers dealt us. We didn't want that. And it's not that Warner Brothers are stupid. Warner Brothers are like, look, you want to spend this much money on a game? We're not going to make it back selling it for $70. We got to have all this shit. Whatever. It is what it is. But maybe they're like, our biggest contribution to this is our gameplay plays like butter. And it's so fucking good. But yeah, it's got all this shit games and service trappings. So we want to take a little more time to really polish that up because we know that if we don't hit that perfectly, we're fucked. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe they have a handful of DLC expansions to the moment-to-moment gameplay that they think are really cool. And they're like, look, we have to ship now. Those 4 modes we were going to dole out over the summer after we dropped the game, that's got to be in the game because without those, it just feels like exactly what everyone's saying. And we have to have that variety. And then the other part is maybe because you can play it single player, there was a bunch of stuff they cut from single player that isn't polished. And now Warner Brothers is like, okay, people really want their single player from Rocksteady. You guys take 7 more months and put that shit back in and take the time to polish it. Because if this ends up like Avengers, we're fucked. If it ends up like Anthem, we're fucked. If it ends up like Gotham Knights, we're fucked. And I think that's fucking great. I think that's great. So they haven't come out and said why they're delaying it, but as somebody who plays a lot of games and has worked in the industry for a long time, that's all I can think about. Because there's no way they're going to be delaying it and going, guys, get rid of all the games as a service shit and make it a single player epic like The Last of Us, but with the Suicide Squad. It's like, no, that's not happening. That's not happening. Let me see what you guys say. A guy with Hebrew, I can say Aleph, Bet, Vet, Gimel, Daled, Hevav. I used to know the whole Hebrew alphabet. Hey, Jaffe, big fan. Thank you, buddy. I just wanted to share a fun fact about the Last of Us TV show. Troy character in the show is being played by Devil May Cry Dante actor. Oh, I didn't know that. That's very cool. Thank you for sharing that. Jeeves says, yeah, but people wanted an Arkham Asylum style game. Everyone worried we won't get that and we'll be getting something closer to Avengers. Right. I think it's a valid worry. And I think that if that is what they've made, which it's clear that's what they've made, then they better fucking get it right. Because look, I thought the Avengers, I have a review up, I haven't taken it down, where I said this is going to be the biggest game of the year. Because when I played the first 2 hours with Miss Marvel and Hulk and other characters, I was like, it's kind of generic, but the combat's great. It looks great. The characters are great. And then suddenly 90% of the single player was just me bashing a bunch of fucking robots, and the multiplayer was abysmal. So I get it. You do not want to be that fucking game. 100%. Rogue says it's probably a good delay because there are already so many amazing indie, AA, AAA coming out between now and August. The best place to continue polishing and find a nice open release. Yeah, but you'll never find that, right? What is it I saw today? There was a game, Starfield. Was it Starfield they finally announced their date, and then somebody was like, oh, fuck, that game is coming a week after. It was a big game. It wasn't like, direct competition, but it was like, oh, you're shitting me. That game is now coming a week after this game. And I'm like, you're never going to, the industry is filled now with good, interesting content. And it's hard to find a clean window for sure. Baldur's Gate, that's what it was. Saber Zero actually contributes. It was Baldur's Gate. Yes, that's right. Baldur's Gate 3 or 4, whatever it is coming a couple of weeks or 1 week afterwards. So Water Princess says Rocksteady is not known for shooting mechanics. Yeah, but so what? They're known for quality, right? So, Sony Santa Monica wasn't known for action adventure games until we went from Connecticut to God of War. I mean, everybody can expand their talents and hire people that are good at certain genres. Okay. Anyway, there you go. There's your Suicide Squad update. Let's talk about Sony. Now, everybody knows this. I'm just going to recap on the off chance you haven't heard this, but this spills into my advice for Sony based on some games that I discovered and that the Gabbin' and Games community introduced me to this week that I'm not taking the piss. Luca over in the Discord is like, you're clickbaiting. I'm not clickbaiting. I'm not taking the piss. I really think Sony needs, if they don't already have this, and I'm sure they do, but maybe they haven't said anything to indicate they do. They don't already have this piece of advice. They need it. They need to take it. They need to follow it to the T. But first, I'll tell you, look, I got to put a video out. It's going to make some people happy and piss some people off. But Jim Ryan's doing the Lord's work. I don't want to see the deal fall apart at all. I like the deal that is being proposed between Activision and Microsoft. But I get that Jim Ryan's job right now is keep this goddamn motherfucking merger from going through, right? So Jim Ryan, when he's over in England, he's in Brussels, the German folk. It comes out from Activision's spokesperson who is answering a question from Tom Warren. And Tom Warren is... He's like a dude over at, is he at The Verge or something? He's like a reporter or some such. He covers games and whatnot. And Lulu Chang Meserve, who's really gone on the offense as an Activision spokesperson, tweeted this. Microsoft offered Sony, the dominant console leader for well over a decade with 80% market share, a 10-year agreement on far better terms than Sony would ever get from us meaning Activision. We've also offered Sony guaranteed long-term access to Call of Duty, but they keep refusing. Why? She follows it up by saying the CEO, and then Tom Warren was talking about they're worried that, you heard this last week. Sony's worried that if Call of Duty comes to PlayStation, but it's owned by Microsoft, Microsoft will intentionally or unintentionally sabotage it and make it a worse place to play Call of Duty. That was him responding to Lulu. Lulu comes back and is like, well, let me give you a little more clarity, pal. Let me give you a little more clarity, Tommy. Here's what she tweets. The CEO of Sony, a.k.a. Jim Ryan, answered that very question in Brussels. In his words, quote, this is Jim Ryan, quote, I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger. Right now, on one hand, it's like, that is just right in your fucking face. That is gangster, right? It's like, yeah, just fucking own it, bitch. Just fucking own the shit. I don't know why these things just start coming across the screen. Let me turn those off. Own the fucking shit. But at the same time, it's just so staggering to hear it pointed out so point blank. He's like, I just don't want you to own it. Because in the long run, I don't think it's good. Hang on. Design says I'm bored of this story. We're going to get there. I'm going to give you some, trust me, what you're about to get designed from your Papa Jaffe is some new sauce sprinkled on top of the decaying fish that is the story of Activision, Sony, and Microsoft. I would not be talking about it if I didn't have an interesting twist to share with you. Okay? Water Princess says, do you know devs that would sabotage their game? No, but I do know publishers that would say, we're going to put the better people on the platforms that we feel are in our best interest to support this platform more than that platform. Absolutely. I don't think, though, that you're going to find anybody going in and going, okay, I want you to clock this and lock it at 30 frames, right? No, I mean, it's possible, but man, can you imagine if that got out? But here's the deal. I want to give, so end of the day, look, I think the deal is going to go through, but whether it goes through or not, the time of Sony, if they don't emerge as a meaningful player in the games as a service industry, and I want to be clear because I know people are like, I think it was CR3D, or maybe it wasn't CR3, it was somebody in the Discord earlier today was saying to me, oh, but games service games are dying. You know, they shut down Rumble City, they shut down Knockout City, whatever, on and on and on. They're not, there is becoming less and less opportunity for also rans in that space, but that's any space, right? Square came out this week and said that Forspoken and all of the games, by the way, they put out this year underperformed. There is no room in AA, AAA, quadruple A, games as service, single shot games like Last of Us or whatever. There is no longer room anywhere you look for anything than compelling content. Okay. So as much as I thought Knockout City was fun, and it was fun, that was a dodgeball game. I played it for about 4 days and I never went back to it. Never had a desire. I literally played Knockout City, which was the melee, which was Rumbleverse. I played Rumbleverse, which was the melee kind of beat 'em up battle royale for 2 matches. And it was so good, so well polished, but it wasn't sticky. And I moved on with my goddamn life. That is not a reflection of games as a service no longer being interesting to a lot of gamers. I think if that was the case, you would see Fortnite losing tons of numbers, PUBG losing tons, Call of Duty not being so passionately fought over. But you have to be sort of towards the top of the food chain, and or you have to be inexpensive enough to be niche, right? So this is why I'm letting you know this, right? So a couple things are happening this weekend. Frontier is shutting down Lemniscate. Okay, Lemniscate is a game that hang on. I got to figure that out. Lemniscate is a really cool game that is a first-person shooter where you like play with time. It's way too smart for the room. It's very clever. It's very cool. As a designer, as a piece of designer porn, it's like, whoa, that's cool. But it was like, I couldn't even get into a match. It was way too hard to get through the tutorial. It was a little bit too much like, wait, what am I doing? I don't quite understand the chronology issue here, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, that game is shutting down, and they clearly spent some decent money on the game if you look at it. It's very pretty. It's very well made. It's animated well, blah, blah, blah. Barely ran for a year or two, okay? Well, this weekend, Deceive Inc. Is free to play on Steam, on Xbox, and on PlayStation. And I very much recommend it. If I stream games tonight, I will be playing this. Hopefully members of the stream will want to play with me. but it's got a packed lobby right now because it's free and it's the free weekend and it's early access or whatever the fuck it is. It's a really interesting game that's kind of like a cross between Among Us, spy game, a little Fortnite, where you're basically having to go through these processes of, like, you wear disguises and you have to pretend you're an AI, and you have to, different characters have different abilities, and you have to find things in the environment to ultimately get to this briefcase and then get out of the building with the briefcase to an extraction vehicle. It's cool. It's absolutely worth your time. It's not a piece of shit. But I play it and I go, and I've liked it. I've gone back to it. It's not like Rumbleverse. I played it 4 times yesterday. I've played it twice today. That for me is a sign of a game that it's like, oh, there's something here that's interesting that I don't get anywhere else, right? But even looking at this, and this is where I get to Sony's advice, even looking at this, it's absolutely clear that these guys have spent, I'm not saying this is, factions, Last of Us money, but these guys have clearly spent real money to put this together. And I think this is where, it's Bukkake, this is where Sony, I think, could really own this fucking space. Own this fucking space because they already own the first party narrative stuff. And they, racing, I'll leave that to you debate if Turismo's better than what, I don't care. But they already own the cinematic stuff, right? They got the first player big budget thing on lock. Maybe Microsoft can compete, maybe can't. Who gives a shit? I don't know. But the real money, when you hit it, they have 10 of these in development right now, okay? So this is what they need to do. This is my advice, my free advice to Jimmy Ryan and the boys. Is this. I was playing, it has stuff like The Ship. The dude says it sounds like the old PC game, The Ship and Spy Party. Right. It absolutely has that. Among Us, Call of Duty. It's kind of like a little collage, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. Okay. So now let me tell you what needs to happen. Now, you probably already know what I'm showing you because you can't not have seen this, okay? But this is the key to Sony's success in the free-to-play games as a service genre. Here you go. And I don't mean literally, but I don't know if you know what you're looking at here. But I think I would be surprised if a lot of you guys were not surprised when I told you what this game was. This game is Roblox. Okay, this is a Roblox mod, not crazy, sexy, difficult tech. It's just made in Roblox. Okay, and it's good. It's fucking good. It's not, it doesn't blow your fucking mind or anything, but it's a fun game. I played it the other night and it was good. I played like 4 or 5 rounds of it. And there's like 4 or 5 levels, and it is what it is. It's what you see is what you get. I'm not showing it to you like this is the best thing ever. But the cost of making this and the ease of making this, and if you guys looked at the Roblox video that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even last week, where Roblox was showing some of their Chat GPT integration, and they're going to announce more of it in March, but that you're able to take text and change materials and textures just with text. You're able to take items like a car, and it's like, make the car fly, and the car flies. Now, obviously, I mean, there's programming under the hood on a lot of that, but a lot of it is actual just AI, like make the lights blink every 20 seconds. Like the ability for more and more people to basically make their own shit without having to be even close to being a programmer is getting so good and so meaningful that in a second, when you hear me say how Sony can win this, it'll make all the sense in the world. And this is what they should be doing. Dreams doesn't need that. If Dreams can get it, they need it. But Dreams made the mistake of thinking people want to actually be game developers. People don't want to be game developers. People want to make games. Just like I don't want to be a movie director, but I do want to stream video, right? It's not just semantics. There's a difference. And so the ease of use that's getting there, things like this, things like Forge, it would be great if Dreams could be that. maybe it will. But so far, we've heard nothing to support it. That's not even my point, though. It's not even my point. So this is Roblox. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. Okay. Then we have a mode called Diglets. Now, I've never heard of Diglets. I played this last weekend for the first time with Spectre Bull and Spazbo and the whole Eaw gang. And it's basically, you have, if you don't know what this is, it's a mode in Forge, but it may have come from another shooter. I don't know. It is delightfully fucking fun. It is a mode in Forge where you're in a hole. You can't get out of the hole. Everybody has a sniper rifle, and that's it. And all you're doing is popping up, going down whenever you want to. And it is a delightful, addictive fucking blast of a mode, right? It's called Diglets. It's in Forge right now. If we stream tonight, we'll probably be playing more of this because it's really fucking cool, okay? The last thing I'll show you is Fortnite already has an incredibly... Now, again, I was not into Fortnite when it was building. It wasn't my scene. Now that you can play games that are non-building, it's awesome, okay? Well, Fortnite has amazing creative tools. Apparently, they're going to get a lot better, okay? But right now, Fortnite lets you do this too. So if you go over to Fortnite and you look at like all of the maps and shit or all of the different creations, it's like going to Forge. It's like going to Roblox. The number of people that are able really, really easy to create content is exploding. And I'm not saying, when I say, here's my advice to Sony, my advice to Sony is not, oh, you need to make one of these, Sony. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you go back to what ships this weekend, which I have enjoyed a lot, and maybe it'll hit, maybe it won't. I cannot predict this shit. But when you go back and look at, where did it go? Deceive Inc. that came out this weekend. I don't fucking know if that game is going to be a hit or not, but I know that you could have told if that game was going to be a hit well before you spent the kind of money that they spent on Deceive Inc., right? I'm not saying you look at Deceive Inc. and they spent like $100 million, but this is polished. This is fucking polished. And this is, people spent time on this. What Sony needs is a farm league, okay? They need a series. They basically need, they can charge for it if they want, obviously. They need their developers that are just every week putting out another fucking multiplayer games as a service, series of games, types of mechanics that they can build fast and cheap and easy. And they will know relatively quickly what has legs, what has stickiness, what they need to do to give it stickiness. But the days of spending all this money on a games as a service, if you look at the production value of Rumbleverse, if you look at the production value of Knockout City, and then to see it collapse in less than a year, I saw it with Drawn to Death. Now, I'm not saying Drawn to Death was good, bad, or otherwise, but we should have known well before we spent all the money we spent on that game that it wasn't working for people. And so all I'm saying is, I'm not saying Sony should do that instead of what they're doing. Saber Zero, you're missing the point. Saber Zero says fast and cheap and easy is not why I'm a Sony gamer. No one is saying it's for you. What's for you is, Saber Zero, my assumption is if you like multiplayer games, you're looking forward to Forge. Not Forge, Factions, the multiplayer thing, right? From Last of Us. I get it. That's what a large percentage of people want from their PlayStation, and that's great. But what I'm saying is the people who don't care as much about that or like that, I like that stuff, but I also don't mind stuff that's simple and that is fun, even if it doesn't look that great. To have that on PlayStation and to say, kind of like what Naughty Dog did with, what did they call it? The Lab on Uncharted 4, which was just sort of flat shaded maps, to have that on PlayStation and just say, yeah, we're not selling this. We're not trying to get Saber Zero style players to come over and do this. We're trying to figure out, we've put out 10 games in the last 2 months, and most of them, you know, people like for a couple days and never come back. But there's this one game that it's weird. Everyone is still playing it after 2 months. Okay, let's keep working on that one, kill the other ones. Let's, you know, that's what I mean by farm league of this stuff, because that's, you can know, like, this game's amazing so far, but But this is too much work to determine if this game has legs. And you're not going to get that as a focus group. You're not going to get that in a play test. You're going to have to let it go live and see if people come back to it on their own fucking volition. So that is my pitch to Sony. You don't have to pay me. You don't have to thank me. You don't have to acknowledge me. But as I've always said, I think Sony's the best publisher in the industry in terms of quality, consistent quality. But I think a lot of their shit is, they don't, they're leaning too hard right now on their production value, like a lot of companies, and they don't need to. They have a shortcut if they would just fucking take it. So Jimmy Ryan, you ain't going to stop the merger as much as you want to, but you can compete and you can win. You're welcome. You goddamn right. This is going to be its own video. But yeah, I mean, again, and by the way, I don't want to take you away from your precious Call of Duty and say, go play, where is it? Go play, the Roblox mod. No, I mean, it's fun. It's solid. It's not as good as, what I will say I really do like about it though, is I like the radar. I like that they have old school Call of Duty that whenever anyone fires, they ping the radar, because I fucking miss that. I know they ping the compass, but I want it on the fucking radar, right? But even that, I mean, take this as a template and go, you know what we could try? Let's try this kind of game, but let's do X, Y, Z. So give it a look, give it a try, see what you think. That's my take, and I'm fucking sticking to it, you old so-and-sos. Okay. Who made the Roblox mod? Just real quick. I mean, all you have to do is go to the Roblox, created games. It's at the top of the list, but I think it's made by, let's see. I think it'll pop up maybe here. It's called Frontlines. So the best I can offer you, short of the developer's name, is search Frontlines, and you will see. Here's my tweet. This guy, Things We Carry, says, PlayStation needs saving. Ha ha ha. Dude, don't fucking come at me. Yes, PlayStation needs saving, right? The idea, if I may, to this guy, and people like this guy, being on top doesn't mean you can stay on top. You have to continue the fight. Look at Nintendo. They're on top, then they're not. Then they're back on top, then they're not. Okay? PlayStation, all the warning signs are that they're heading towards an iceberg. Okay? If you don't see it, okay. And I'll have a conversation with you about it if you don't see it. But to act like I'm a fucking moron that deserves your little condescending laughing emotes because I'm offering up a position that actually has some evidence to back it up and you just don't like it, fuck off, because you're probably not smart enough to be here, is what I would say. Okay. Let's move forward, shall we? Well, you can say they don't have to, but don't trust me. Trust Sean Layden. Ryan Bacon says if they want to do that, cool, but they don't have to, is what I'm saying. Here's how you know they have to. Not only did Sean Layden say that the business model of Sony first party is not sustainable. He said that while I believe he was at Sony, not after he left and he was, setting the building on fire. Not only that, but the fact that Jim Ryan has put at least 10 of these games as a service into development should tell you that Sony management knows that it's not sustainable. Dougie Monroe says, Jaffe, read my last comment, you old son of a bitch. He says, Jaffe, which remake do you think will be better, Dead Space or RE4? That's a great question. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's because, let's put it this way, up until Callisto Protocol came out and got nailed by a lot of players and critics, I thought that was going to eat Dead Space's lunch, right? But until I played Dead Space Remake, which I love, fucking wonderful game, I had nothing to go on. So based on RE4 demo and all the stuff I've read about it, I think, oh man, I mean, I based on the demo being so great and based on Dead Space Remake being so great, my guess is they're both, it's not an issue of better. They're both going to be two of the best games of the year, because RE4 seems to be really doing a lot from micro levels, like how weapons work, to macro levels, like brand new sections of maps, when it comes to sort of retelling the story. Dead Space did a little of that, but not anywhere near as much, but what they did was take the brilliance of Dead Space 2 and bring it to Dead Space 1, which was sorely missed when you go back after playing Dead Space 2, and they polished the fuck out of it. So I think they're both going to be great. I don't think there really is I don't think, unless RE4 shits the bed, I think it's going to be totally subjective. I don't think most people will be like, this is clearly, Al Rubai says, if you dare say anything negative or insulting, Jaffe will respond to your comment. If you say anything positive, suddenly he will often miss what you said. No, you just have to say something interesting. And more often than not, the interesting stuff is somewhere we can go with a conversation. If you just say, Jaffe, I loved this level in Earthworm Jim 2. The only thing I can offer that is, cool, man, I thought that was a good level too. Now, unless you're you getting a personal response, in which case I would suggest a super chat, do you really think the average person listening to this is going to give a fuck about what that? And I don't mean that that's a bad thing to say, that you love that level of Earthworm Jim 2. I'm saying, can you understand that as someone who's trying to engage with the audience that have all kinds of different likes and dislikes, I'm choosing without any safety net. I'm not pre-reading these. I just see a couple words and go, that looks like it might send us off in a good direction. So, if you want to write, I'll tell you what, let me see what he wrote last. Let me go back to his thing and see what he thinks I should have interrupted the show with. It may have been worth it, and I may have missed it. I'm looking for it. Anybody see it? If I don't find it, just do a copy paste, buddy, and I will be looking for it. But I do not see what you wanted me to respond to. I apologize about that. Fuck you, Bukaki. People don't know, Bukaki, that you're kidding. Come on now. A cab says, Jaffe, here's one. Jaffe, I loved Mr. Mosquito. Are you also in love with it? No. But, I like it. It's cool. But it's not the knees bees or the mosquitoes. Knees bees. Fuck you. Okay, let's move on. I want to let you know. I want to. Save it. Can I tell you something that annoys me? This is cynical, Jaffe. I don't mean to be. I don't mean to be cynical, but I have to point this out. Yeah, Mecca says it's no Brave Fincher muchacho. That's right. Yeah, Eric says, Jaffe, remember there was a PS1 game where you controlled a mosquito biting people and sucking their blood? Yeah. See, what do I do with that? Scott Woodford at least pays for the interruption. Thank you, buddy. He says, you need to check out a song called Techno Train. Alexa, remind me in 3 hours to listen to Techno Train. Thank you, Scotty Woodford, for the recommendation. I will give it a listen. Let me tell you something. Let's be cynical for a moment. And I don't mean to be a dick. I've run a couple of new companies. I've co-run a couple of new companies. It's hard and it's exciting. But I wish journalists would go, you know what? We're not going to cover. We'll put a little blurb out. These guys started a new company. We wish them well. Maybe they'll do something worth doing something about to be covered in the future. Moving on. I'm so fucking tired of fucking stories on the internet about new companies that you've never fucking heard of, that have never fucking done anything, even though they may have done something at previous companies, and then you got to hear what their plans are. Do you ever hear a company starting up going, yeah, we don't really know what we're doing. We'll probably fail like most new companies, and it's probably stupid, but we can only get our funding from an NFT, cyber, whatever the fuck, blockchain guy. And so we're going to talk to you like we think that's the future, but come on. I mean, what are you going to get? What are you going to get? The truth? No. Listen to this. I want to show you two of them that pissed me off this last week, and then I want to show you the king, the contender for the most obnoxious one in the world, okay? This week, Riot Vets aiming to shake up multiplayer with new studio, The Believer Company. Now, they may do it. They may be the next Bungie, and I wish them well. Go with God. The only real news story here, though, is the Believer Company, and this is the very top. The Believer Company, a new studio founded by Riot Game veterans, has emerged from stealth today and announced it raised $55 million in Series A financing. Great. That's all I need. But instead, we go on. At Believer, the two leads are working on a next-generation open-world game built around an original IP. Wow, what a waste of digital letters. The studio has said the emphasis will be on stories where player choices matter, in opposed to stories where the player can shit in the mouth of the protagonist and nothing happens, as well as gameplay systems that, quote, bring players together rather than pushing them apart. Okay, co-op games. Okay. There's a quote. It was incredibly important to us to provide a long-lasting, rock-steady foundation for the world's best creators to do the best work of their lives. Why even say that? Quote, we want to take the time to get it right because world-class R&D takes time. It requires a lot of risk-taking. It requires both creation and discovery, which are subtly but importantly different. I understand you're trying to attract talent, but anybody you want to attract who's good is not going to fall for this PR lip service horse shit. So just don't say it because you come off like a goddamn moron. Listen to this. I've never heard this. This is brilliant. Talking about Michael Eisner, used to run Disney, Paramount. He's on the board. Eisner probably understands how to develop and nurture IP franchises better than anyone on the planet. I would take issue with that, but we'll let it go. At the center of everything we're building right now is a rich IP. It's the bedrock from which we grow our characters, their stories, and their world, and we want to grow them into other media, music, television, film. Really? You mean you guys have the crazy idea of taking video games and doing something else with them in other media? What? You guys are fucking the Teslas of the day. You're geniuses. Listen to this one. Last week, there was a studio called Electric Saint. Same game industry biz. Here are the two delightful humans who are running that company. What kind of studio does Electric Saint want to be? Well, the things we're really inspired by are personal. We're really inspired by having to find yourself, find who you are and your found family and what resonates with you as a person in terms of your identity. I really believe that putting yourself into your work makes it sing and allowing for that rather than shying away. Shut up. No one cares. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I really don't. Starting a company takes balls of a walrus, as Jeff Keighley once said. And he's right. Going out there in a tiny boat in a sea of sharks and blood and typhoons and all kinds of shit is scary and hard, and you're apt to fail. And these folks, I tip my hat. But shut the fuck up. Here's the one that drives me the most crazy. This is the last one. I'm going to move on, but I got to show you this. This one drives me the most batshit crazy. What are they supposed to say if asked by a journalist? Jaffe, says Mark Arnold. How about, we love games. We hope to make our mark. We're really excited. We'll get back to you when we actually have something to show. How about that? This is insane. This is the company Unseen, which was founded by the lady on stage who used to work at Tango Gameworks. She was the creative director, I believe, on Tokyo, what's that thing called? Ghostwire Tokyo. And then she left to start this company. Okay? Look at this. It's like she's talking about her vision for the company. And she's slowly wandering around the environment of Tokyo, and she's taking it in, and it's beautifully shot. What the fuck is this? This is so dumb. Do I think she's going to make a great game or a shit game? I don't know. I don't fucking know. Nobody knows yet. But are you shitting me? Look at this. Here I am walking across a bridge, contemplating walking across the bridge. Now I will stand and look at a paper mill at night in silhouette. Fuck you, Lando. Let her do her thing, man. This is her thing. She's doing her thing. She put her thing out for the world to judge, and guess what? I'm judging her. Don't fucking tell me it's marketing relax. It's stupid. It's stupid. It's pretentious. It's dumb. It's just gross. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry you think she's cute. She is cute. And you think she's going to go on a date with you. But you want to impress me? Fucking tell me what you're working on. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, get to work. What the fuck is that? What are you, Jay-Z, doing a horizontal diamond sign? You haven't earned it. You haven't earned it. Earn it, then I'll be impressed. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, stop walking in slow motion, and go make some fucking video games. All right. Fuck you, a cab. Chillax. It's not just business. A cab says chillax. It's just business. It's only business because some of you motherfuckers fall for it. What's business about it? You're going to buy your fucking game because of this? Grow up. Have some media literacy. Understand this means nothing. Nothing. Left Control Gaming says it's stupid. That's right. Hey, Rogue Radical, that game was done. He's making fun of me when I looked at the camera and said, it's game director and alleged psychopath. We were promoting Twisted Metal. Well, that was a paid-for, completed product. That was an advertisement. It was advertising the game. You have to have more followers than you make a product, says Water Princess. It doesn't even work that way. I know you're making fun of me. It doesn't even work that way. People thought it worked that way. But end of the day, there have been a number of case studies over the last, 3 years, not to mention my own, which was before that, where we figured, oh, let's get followers. Let's make the community love us. Let's connect with the community. That'll help sell the game. No, it won't. PUBG came out of nowhere. Nobody cared that PUBG was made by XYZ. I mean, he had a little bit of notoriety, but Fortnite came out of nowhere. Among Us, you weren't like, oh, we were really following the Among Us guys. And come on, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's not true. Rob the Mod says, have you heard about, or what are your thoughts on the SVPB, which is some bank collapse I haven't really been following, but apparently it's a big deal. And it's hitting John Garvin in the Lithos game, Mike Mumbauer. I haven't talked to him. I saw Mike Mumbauer's tweet about it because they're all tied in deeply to blockchain and NFTs and all that stuff. And apparently he was like, we don't know how it's going to affect us yet, but we're certainly tracking this shit because this could be something that doesn't go well for us. But honestly, from what I'm hearing, come Monday when the market's open, it's a lot of people are going to get hit, whether you're talking about NFTs or real life money. No, that's not real life money, but you know what I'm saying. So I'm bracing for a really rough Monday for sure. Listen to this. I'm not going to show it to you, but I want to bring your attention to it. There was a showcase from what are these guys called? Nako, or I don't fucking know. But RoboCop, they got RoboCop new trailer just dropped from the same guys who made Terminator, really good Terminator PS4, PS5 game. So if you're interested in this game, which I think you should be, it doesn't look like, oh my God, this most amazing game ever, but it absolutely looks, if nothing else, if it's as solid as Terminator Resistance or whatever they called it, it's going to be great because that was just sort of a B-level shooter. And this is going to be that, but it's really gory, which is great because that's what RoboCop is. And we don't see enough games like that anymore and shooters. And I wish it was gorier actually. And it's got a lot of the RoboCop abilities, like, he couldn't slow down time, but in this, he can slow time. He can, I think he can grab things out of the air, certain kinds of targeting. There's like 4 or 5 things he does in here that are like abilities that are beyond a normal, just straight up shooter. So this will be out this year, I think in September. And so if you want to watch it, watch the trailer. It's available for you. I saw a documentary last night. It was called something like The Last Action Heroes, and it was on Apple TV. I rented it for 99 cents, and it was all about the 80s and 90s action heroes. And they interviewed Paul Verhoeven, who directed this. And he was just like, yeah, dude, he was like, I have to make it insanely gory. And it was. When they blew off Murphy's hand, come on now. Albania says this is bad. What's bad about it? It looks solid and fun. You know, what do you need? I'm not saying this should be going toe to toe with the games Albania that you want to see win Game of the Year, but it looks like a fun, $29.99 shooter that you can play in 2 or 3 days and move on with your fucking life. It's like a fucking, it's grilled cheese sandwich, rainy day gaming. Come on now. Okay, let's move on. Shall we? Because I think we've said all we can say about it here. I'll save that. Let me show you this last thing. Nah. Do I want to show you this right now? I'll save it for later. Fellas, Church Key says he already pre-ordered it. Couldn't help himself. RoboCop was the first VHS I bought in '79. You goddamn right. The 80s were the shit. I wish it was gorier. Aunt Tony Pony says if it's insanely gory, I'm in. Yeah, right now it doesn't really look insanely gory. It looks like there's lots of blood. But yeah, I want to see, modern day Soldier of Fortune body parts blowing off. And that was RoboCop. What was really interesting was when Verhoeven and Ronnie Cox, who played one of the bad guys in RoboCop, were being interviewed for this movie I was watching. I don't know what adults felt when they saw RoboCop, but what they said was we made it so violent because we knew that people would not take it serious, right? But as a kid, I took that shit serious. I was like, oh my God, when that dude steps out in front of the car after he's been covered in all the chemicals and then gets hit and his whole body just gets demolished. Maybe if you're an adult, you're like, okay, this is stupid. But as a kid, I'm like, what the fuck? That's the coolest fucking thing ever. So I'm a fan. A Paul Verhoeven documentary, I'll look into it, the dude, because I love Paul Verhoeven. He's one of my favorite directors. If you don't know Paul Verhoeven, RoboCop, Total Recall, those are his two big 80s, late 90s, early 90s movies. But he also did like 3 others that are Starship Troopers, couple others that I can't. Showgirls was Verhoeven, I think. Yeah. I always get Adrian Lyne sometimes mixed up with him. But yeah, he did Showgirls as well, Venom. That's right. Yeah, Starship Troopers was the shit, not shit. Okay. Fellas. Oh, this looks like the opposite of innovation you keep championing. You're a hard read, Jaffe. I'm not a hard read. I like good stuff. Okay. Innovation is incredibly important for certain games. Certain products are just meant to be tried and true but well done and with wrapping on top of them that appeal to you. That's fine too, but they're not going to charge $70 for this. They're not going to claim this is the next big thing. It's like a B movie. It's like, as long as you know it's a B movie and they don't make you pay like you're going to see the fucking, a Broadway show, everybody's happy. We got a message here from good sir Instant Messenger Sama. Thank you, buddy. He says, Jaffe, how low are the chances of getting Manhunt 3? Low is what I would say. I would say you have a higher percentage chance of getting some kind of Manhunt content in GTA 6 Online or something, like as a tip of the hat to the nostalgia factor. But Manhunt's not really it's like you could make it, you get some press, but it's not like anybody's walking around going, Manhunt up next to like Mario. Hell, I don't think Silent Hill is a great remake. I'm glad they're doing it. I know it has its fans, but it was never a massive hit. And now it's all nostalgia for most people. It's not like most people are wandering around going, I need to find out what happened at the end of the PSP Silent Hill isometric game, because that lore is deep, baby. I'm sure there are some people, but there ain't a lot of them. The dude says, Jaffe, but thank you for the super chat, Instant. The dude says, Jaffe, do you think it's easier for a creative to convey a specific idea or concept to an audience in film form or a video game? it's much easier, I think, to convey it in a film form or using text. It's very difficult, I have found, to convey things in video games, not just because video games are not a new medium. I don't buy that line anymore, but using play mechanics to express ideas and metaphor and emotion and all that is absolutely still beyond or before fetus stage. It's very rarely done. And even when it's done well, a lot of people aren't trained to look or care about it. A good moment to point to is like that video I put up last week about feeling that part in Fortnite felt like a school shooter simulator. And I never said Fortnite did that intentionally. I never said the developers of that mode did that intentionally. But I look at video games, and for whatever reason, I'm susceptible to looking at them not just as a player, but a little bit more academically, maybe because I was an English major and my brain does that with books and movies and everything. But so the fact is, you could load something with all kinds of symbolism and metaphor and parallels in your play mechanics, but a lot of people would just go like they did to me. Oh, Jeffy, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's just stupid. It's not a school shooter simulator. Like, I know. That wasn't the point. Then they get all upset with you. Sir Nick says everybody cried for Crash Bandicoot. Then they brought the trilogy in a new game. No one's talking about it. It's true. I loved Crash 4. But I don't know how well it sold, but boy, it was great. Probably the best Crash game ever. I'd stand by that. All right, fellas, that's Gabbin' Games for Saturday. What is it? 4:00 here in San Diego, March 11th. Is that the Ides of March or is it the 12th? Alexa, what is the Ides of March? '15th of March. Sorry. Anyway, that's Gabbin' Games. I'll be back tonight or tomorrow with a game night. I am trying, so you know, I'll give you a little sneak preview. People are asking about Jaffe Mania. I want to do Jaffe Mania this week. And I want to show you what the holdup is at the moment. I almost did it last night. But I have to show you this, and maybe somebody knows, maybe because 2K23 is coming out. Maybe something's happening with the servers, right? Ides of March, yeah, that's when Caesar got killed, but I didn't know what date it correlated to on our calendar. So check this out real quick. I just want to show you because maybe somebody can help me in the chat. Okay. So WWE, I go to WWE. I've made a bunch of characters, and I've hired people to make a bunch of characters. Right now, we've got Jaffe with the beard, we've got Kojima, we've got Gabe Newell, we got little Jason Schreier. I got a lot more of them, but they're not showing up here, so I can't upload them for some reason. So until I can upload all of the executives and celebrities that are going to be part of Jaffe Mania, I don't know what to do. Because they're not, I go to upload, and they're only giving me these, right? But if you go to my actual superstars that I've made or hired people to make under creations, edit custom superstar. I'll show you the ones that I got lined up that I want to bring in to. So we have Colin Moriarty, Corey Barlog, Greg Miller, Jim Ryan, Phil Spencer, old Kratos, new Kratos, Sean Layden. I think I have a few more. But I can't get these guys to upload for some reason. So, you know, look at Jim Ryan. He's like, I don't care, mate. I'm going to block your merger, or I'm going to break your back. No Cerny. Well, you know, I only have so much time in the day. He was pretty good though, don't you think? That's not bad. That's not bad. But anyway, yeah. So if anybody knows, you know, how to do this, let's see. Let me back out. I would love for you to let me know, because I really want to do this, but I can't get them in. But anyway, yeah, I'll check over on the Discord if you want to join our game night. If it's tonight or tomorrow, I'll be putting up a poll pretty soon. Like, hey, is tonight good or not tonight? Like in the next hour or so, or is tomorrow good? Or maybe since Last of Us is on tomorrow, it's none of it's good. Who knows? Let me try one more time, see if they popped over there. So uploads. I want to say, I think I know what the problem is. I might know what the problem is. Hang on. Do I go to downloads? No. I got to figure out how to get these. So anyway. All right, fellas, be well. Mods, thank you so much. It was good to see Bukaki in here. Good to see Robin here. Anybody else I missed, I apologize. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the super chats. New members, welcome. And everybody be safe out there. Have a great weekend. A lot of good stuff to play. Give Deceive Inc. a try. It's on every fucking system except Switch. Hey, Jojo D. Tell me what you think. I'm very, very curious if it has legs or if it's like a really fun game to play a couple times and you move on with your life. Be well, y'all. See ya.